Have you ever felt an invisible hand pulling the threads of your life without you knowing you were being tugged? That's not a coincidence. It's an old art disguised as everyday habit. Imagine a dark room where tiny voices run experiments on the minds of millions every day. That secret hides behind smiles, behind brief messages, behind choices you think are your own. There are manipulation techniques so subtle, so precise, that the victim believes they chose. Terrifying? Yes. Hard to believe? Also. But it's real. And it has been practiced for centuries. First, there's the art of turning a fake want into an absolute need. People pay for a sense of safety built on manufactured fear. Ads, headlines, even casual conversation carve a tiny gap in your head, then weave it into an abyss. Why do almost everyone fall into this trap? Because our brain craves certainty, and manipulation hands us a false answer that feels convincing. Remember the famous obedience experiments? Ordinary people, you, me, your neighbor, can be led to do things outside their moral compass if the right authority gives permission. Dark history is full of records. Leaders who used image, title, and ritual to make immoral acts look legitimate. Have you ever wondered why authority is often automatically forgiven? Because manipulation knows exactly how to don the mask of legitimacy. Then there's a subtler technique, giving just enough to addict. A small gift, brief praise, or a 10% discount becomes bait that plants a sense of obligation. You feel indebted, while you only received a measured slice of attention. The forbidden secret: measured kindness is the currency of manipulation. Have you ever received a message that felt intimately personal, though it was just a lightly edited template? That's the emotional matching game, triggering old memories, tossing in words that tug nostalgia, and then steering your actions. Dark psychology exploits gaps in memory and affection to make you believe there's a special bond. Is that love? Or an algorithm mimicking empathy? There's also the technique that fractures reality. Manipulate information until truth looks fuzzy. Dark history teaches this tactic. Rewrite narratives, repeat lies, make the honest look insane. When truth is shredded, people choose what's easiest to digest, not what's truest. Isn't that frightening? Who decides what's easy to digest? Don't forget the power of carefully constructed social pressure. We are herd creatures. The approval of many feels like proof of truth. Manipulators exploit this by manufacturing impressions of majority support. Fake comments, skewed numbers, staged crowds. So, when the whole room nods, our critical thinking tends to follow. Imagine an experiment. One person stands before a mirror and is forced to believe their reflection is guilty. Most start doubting their own senses. That's not just a test. It's a blueprint for modern propaganda. And if a system can make you doubt yourself, who becomes easier to control? Another technique that never fails is to make a choice feel exclusive. Limited, only for you. 2 simple words, yet they trigger the fear of loss. Humans hate losing more than they love gaining. That psychology has been recognized and exploited. Have you ever bought something simply to avoid the regret of missing out? Congratulations, you were a standard target. We are also steered by narratives that position the actor as savior. Manipulators create a problem that seems uncontrollable, then present themselves as the single solution. It's as if they manufacture the crisis to showcase the cure. Is that true salvation, or just a staged drama that buys followers? The hidden fact: manipulation is often not violent. It often wears soft language, humor, even counterfeit empathy. History shows the best con artists speak like friends. They mimic speech patterns, turn intimidation into advice, make coercion feel like choice. How do you frame the truth so an opponent looks extreme? By blowing up a small margin into definitive proof. Take one word, magnify it, and watch opinion turn. A politician weaponizes this to shred rivals. From one clipped quote, reputations are torn. The most terrifying tactic? When the moral charter is inverted. Small mistakes become proof of rotten character, while huge crimes are wrapped in sweet words. It's a mirror game. Moral bending makes violators seem reasonable. Who decides the line between wrong and acceptable? A series of deliberate narratives. And there's one more that always works. Make you doubt those closest to you. Call it by name, doubt, and watch relationships crumble without real evidence. Manipulators sow whispers, then present the evidence they fabricated. Faster than you realize, the strongest bonds turn fragile. You might think, that happens out there, not to me. But have you stopped to look inward? How many times have you decided out of fear, pretense, or normalized pressure? Most people don't notice how simple deceptions rechart the course of their lives. Historical examples? Look at revolutions that began with sweet promises and ended in organized violence. There's a pattern. Create an enemy, form a group, give a sacred mission, then grant permission to cross boundaries. Most victims believe a heroic story, when in fact it's a road to mass manipulation. So how do we survive? There are keys hidden in reason. First, recognize the loss used as bait. Second, ask, is this option really yours or the result of pressure? Third, challenge authority with a simple question. What's the evidence? It sounds cliché, but these clichés save lives. Beware of calculated kindness. If kindness always comes with strings, it's not kindness. It's a concealed contract. When someone gives without putting your dignity first, ask about their motive. And most importantly, guard your personal narrative. Manipulators want to rewrite your story to suit their agenda. Don't let others replace your memories with the version they prefer. You might respond with cynicism. Trust no one. That's a trap too. Excessive suspicion shuts relationships down, making you vulnerable to isolation. The perfect condition for controllers to operate. So balance is key. Informed skepticism. Empathy that isn't naive. Now, revisit the recent conversations that left you uneasy. Who benefits from your fear? Who stands to gain when you react in a certain way? Start questioning the pattern. Not just the message they send, but how they make you feel it. In dark history, these techniques created armies, split communities, and traded freedom for an illusion of protection. In the modern world, the tools change. Data replaces billboards. Algorithms replace speeches. But the core tactics remain the same. This is not a mystical conspiracy. It's psychology learned, refined, and marketed back to the public. So what do you do when you are targeted? First, take a long breath. Manipulation hits hardest when you react fast. Second, write it down. Handwriting sharpens memory, and strong memory resists narrative engineering. Third, involve others. Truth discussed in more than one head is harder to reconstruct. Finally, always ask, who profits? Behind every grand promise, someone gains. If an offer seems too perfect, it's probably a trap in disguise. You now hold a small map to this vast labyrinth. Use it, but don't become paranoid. Use it as a magnifying glass to see patterns, not as a microscope that shatters you into pieces. Because ultimately, the most dangerous manipulation is the one that makes you feel alone. And before you close this video, remember one thing. The power of manipulation lies not only in the one who gives orders, but also in the one who willingly accepts them. Be alert, protect your narrative, guard your choices, and after this, you will no longer see the world the same way.